Protect your car with 3W Liners all-weather floor mats. Made from durable materials like TPE and rubber, our mats are designed to withstand rain, snow, and mud with deep grooves to trap dirt and liquids. For a custom fit and advanced protection, visit 3W Liners. That's the number 3, WLINERS.com today. Cases, innovation drives us. Since 2008, we've been creating cutting-edge technology products that make your life easier. With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com. Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. From gourmet snacks to unique finds, each box is tailored to your tastes. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.
Hello and welcome on into another episode of the Cam Show, powered by Rogue Media Sports Network. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke behind the glass, keeping us on the air as he does 5 days a week, live on YouTube at noon Eastern time, and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. We're talking nothing but Boston sports, and we ain't changing that today. Because today we're going to talk about the Bruins' top prospect who might now just be a trade chip and why that shows a regression of this franchise once again. We will also talk about the Red Sox top pitching prospect and why everybody wants him up right now, but why you're not going to see him in this 2025 playoff push. And also, we'll take a look outside the box at which Boston team is next in line to win a major championship. All that and more coming up on this episode of The Cam Show. But we start where we start. You've seen the thumbnail. We start with Bruins basically every day at this point. So today is, I feel like that Simpsons episode. And of course, today will not be any different. We start with the Bruins and specifically with their prospects. The Bruins are at a crossroads right now, specifically with their prospects. Are they good enough to become foundational pieces of those next good Bruins teams? Can they stay in the NHL? Do they have enough value to trade or enough value to be a part of your team? Is this team good enough to see them play in small roles? So many questions about these young guys, mainly around Matthew Poitras and today's focus, Fabian Lysell. Those are the big names that are being thrown around. Will these guys actually be pieces for the Bruins, or will they be nice trade chips? And specifically, Fabian Lysell, his name is all of a sudden being thrown around in trade rumors, specifically with the Edmonton Oilers, is the most recent reports. And so it goes from, no longer what is Fabian Lysell's role going to be with this team? How does he develop in 2025-26? It now becomes an ultimatum. What does Lysell have to do so that he doesn't get traded? And honestly, I didn't think it would come this quickly after 12 games in the NHL for a former first-round pick. And what's so interesting about this to me, before we get into what this trade could actually look like, is Fabian Lysell's story with the Bruins is fascinating to me because he really represents something they don't usually do in the NHL draft. He's picked in the first round back in 2021. You remember that was a weird draft. It was COVID. We didn't get to do a lot of in-person scouting. Nobody around the league got to. It was a very bizarre draft and how to rank these prospects, this, that, and the other. And Fabian Lysell is taken in the first round. The Bruins usually don't do that. They usually go for high floor guys who don't have a ton of upside, and they're usually kind of off the board and reaching for them, even in the first round. Now, Lysell's career has not been nearly as good as Wyatt Johnston, who was infamously taken 2 picks later, but he was not a reach. He had a first-round grade and had plenty of offensive upside. Foreign, skilled, fast, not much of a defensive game. This is way against the grain for the Bruins, especially Don Sweeney's Bruins. And that has certainly shown in his time with the team that they went against the grain because they don't give the kid a shot. We've said this about other Bruins prospects the last couple of years. We know that this has not been the best prospect pool in the NHL. In fact, for a good bit of the last few years, it's been the worst prospect pool in the NHL. But how are we going to know if we don't see these kids play in the NHL? How are we going to know? We say it about George Merkulov. We said it about all these guys the last couple of years. And Fabian Lysell seems to be the poster child of that. He's still looking for a chance. I mean, Oilers fans have to be looking at this and being like, great, former first-round pick. But can we see some stats? How are we to know that we're getting an NHL player if the Bruins don't even know if they have an NHL player? The rest of the league doesn't because he doesn't play. Man, this is a team that finished in 15th place last year. And Fabian Lysell only played 12 games after the trade deadline and 13 and a half minutes a game. The guy got 3 points. How are we supposed to know? You're going to get ready to give up on him just like that? It's crazy to see a Bruins team that bad and not see a first-round pick with legit offensive upside until after they cleaned house. It reminds me of a story. Of one of my dad's friends who was a walk-on the football team at the University of Texas. And they were beating Rice one year, 41-3. And the coach turned to this walk-on and said, look, if we score again, you can cover the kick. And they didn't score again. The 38-point lead was not enough for this guy to cover the kick. The Bruins, being one of the worst teams in the NHL, was not enough, even in the middle of the season, to give Fabian Lysell any kind of run of games. And even when they were 15th, he got 13 minutes a game. He's playing fourth-line minutes. How do you expect him to be a second-line player if he's only playing a fourth-line role? And how many guys have we said this about for the Bruins? Not just these last few years with Don Sweeney, but to be quite fair, going back 10, 15 years with Peter Chiarelli as well. Oh, well, Cam, they were always good in that span. Sure, other teams find a way to bring their young prospects up and give them a run on good NHL teams. The Bruins just never really wanted to. Unless they were guys picked in the top 5 or the top 10, right? Sagan, Kessel, Hamilton. Unless they were those guys, DeBrusk right outside the top 10, right? These guys didn't get a run. They weren't playing on the second line. You know, a guy like Frank Vatrano barely gets a sniff for the Bruins. And then he has a full 10-year NHL career after they let him go for nothing. You know, Riley Smith becomes an all-star after one good season with the Bruins where they just didn't trust him to play in the top 6. Fabian Lysell could be another one of those. Now, he's got 120 points in 162 career AHL games, and that's fine. But we have no idea what he can do at the NHL level. And so what that leads to, for me, is poor asset management, which is Don Sweeney's MO. The guy hates handling an asset. And what I mean by that is you've got a guy who's still young, who's still, 22, 23 years old, who still has offensive upside and is a former first-round pick. And you are going to trade him now after he's proven nothing in the NHL. And what are you going to get in return? Because that becomes the question here. What are the Oilers actually going to give up to get Fabian Lysell? Likely options in terms of guys who have actually played in the NHL so far. There's a couple of AHL names. But for NHL guys, for Edmonton, most likely options that Don Sweeney gets in return, Vasily Podkolzin, who was a nice grinder for them last year, fourth-line guy. Matthias Janmark, oh boy, does he do all the things the Bruins like. Yeah, real grinder. Can play up and down the lineup. Can't score. Those two guys combined for 40 points last year. 40 points out of Podkolzin and Matthias Janmark, and you can maybe get one of them in a deal for Fabian Lysell. Now, maybe this is me drinking the Bruins prospect Kool-Aid, of which it's been pretty scarce the last couple of years. But who's to say Fabian Lysell can't break out this year and get to that 40-point number all by himself on a dirt cheap contract, on a guy you developed? Is that crazy? I don't think that's that crazy. I'd be surprised. But for a team that's that bad, if you're just going to give Fabian Lysell second-line minutes, which they almost did to start last year, who's to say he can't get to 40 points? That's not crazy. Trent Frederick's gotten to 40 points before. Fabian Lysell's a much more offensively gifted player than Trent Frederick is and would be playing more minutes. Could you imagine what Bruins fans would do if they traded Fabian Lysell for another bottom 6 duster? Like after they finally took a reach on a skilled forward and just didn't even let him develop? If they traded him for a Vasily Podkolzin or a 32-year-old Matthias Janmark, this place would be up in arms if they did that. If it isn't already. That would just be perfectly Don Sweeney. Like, you actually couldn't get more Don Sweeney than that. If he finally took a chance, it was like, I'm going to do the big thing. I'm going to get this European skilled winger. I'm not going to do the American center who's off the board but also plays at Boston College. I'm not going to do that here. We need some kind of flyer on a guy who could be a good winger, scorer in the NHL. And then he trades him for Vasily Podkolzin or Matthias Janmark. That would be awful. Like, just awful. And by the way, we did hear rumors from the same people who were talking about this Oilers trade. We heard from the same people that the Bruins are trying to get, who's Chinakhov? Yegor Chinakhov from Columbus, who's another like 15-point guy, 12-point guy. Could you imagine if they traded Fabian Lysell for someone like that? And this does mean something in the NHL today. Don Sweeney and the Oilers, they've made some deals, man. They have made some deals. Victor Arvidsson did the Oilers a huge favor by taking him off their books. For some reason, I don't know why they're doing Edmonton a favor. And they got them the guy they wanted to lock down for 8 years. Stan Bowman really wanted Trent Frederick. You made that happen too. Does that mean you can, if you've done the Victor Arvidsson favor, you can maybe get someone a little better than Vasily Podkolzin for Fabian Lysell? I don't know if Edmonton's going to do that. I don't know if they're going to help you out like that. They're talking about some prospects too. Matt Savoy, Bo Akey. I think it's how you say it. Bo Akey. Offensive first defenseman. Got some low Ryan him. Savoy's kind of been up and down. Actually, a lot like Lysell. That would be a good like for like there. Hasn't really gotten a sip of the NHL yet. But in terms of my opinion, I don't know that Fabian Lysell is going to be a stud in the NHL. I don't know that he's going to be a 25-goal guy for you. I don't know that he's going to be a 50, 60-point guy as a winger on your second or third line. But I think it would be dumb to pull off a deal like this at this point. That, to me, is giving up on Fabian Lysell. I talked about it with Matthew Poitras a few weeks ago, and these rumors are swirling again, so I need to do a separate segment on that. But, like, can we at least give the kid a run here in the league where he's playing alongside real NHL players, as close to real NHL players as the Boston Bruins can get? Let's give him some time on the second line. Shoot, if Morgan Geekie gets hurt, put him on the first line. Just see what you've got. You've got a highly skilled winger. He's not going to learn anything by playing with Tanner Jeannot. Or Sean Corrali. That's not going to do him any good. So, yeah, if you traded him right now to Edmonton, that's giving up on the kid. And I think it's too early to give up on the kid. Maybe I'm being too optimistic here, but I look at it the same way I look at Matthew Poitras, man, or Fraser Minton, although his name hasn't been thrown around in trade talks like the other two. Don't give up on these guys. You're going to suck this year. Vasily Podkolzin is not going to make you any better. It's not going to make you any better right now. It's not going to make you any better in the future. Fabian Lysell can. Matthias Ekholm won't. Vasily Podkolzin won't. Victor Arvidsson, the guy you already got from Edmonton, won't. Fabian Lysell might. So why don't you see what he's got? See if there's something there. But that just doesn't really fit into the Don Sweeney MO. We know that by now. So let me know what you think in the comments section below. Should the Bruins trade Fabian Lysell? Is there a better deal they can get for him than what is potentially on the table in Edmonton? Let me know in the comments section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 4,000 subscribers, and that is a huge help. So liking and subscribing really helps me keep my job, and over 90% of you watching aren't actually subscribed to the channel. Why not? We're bringing you nothing but Boston sports content that's much better than what they're putting out there on Sports Talk Radio in this city every weekday at noon Eastern time live on YouTube, and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. Let's make sports talk great again, or something like that. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Dak Burke keeps us on the air 5 days a week. I just don't want to give up on these kids yet. I don't. If the Bruins were good, it's a different story. I should note that. Like if the Bruins were even where Ottawa is at right now, or, Montreal, a team that's not going to win the division but feels pretty promising to make the playoffs, then maybe I am doing something like this. For Podkolzin, who had a decent playoff last year, who did a job for them. Maybe I am, but the Bruins are so far from that in my mind. And you finally have something of a prospect pool. For me, if you're going to suck the next 2 years, let's just play them all. Let's just see what you've got. And, maybe the best thing that happens to them is Lysell plays the whole season and he gets 15 points in the final 9 games leading up to the trade deadline. Then there you go. Then it's something more than Vasily Podkolzin in return. But we'll see. Don Sweeney isn't exactly the greatest asset manager in the world, but you and I both know that by now. Coming up next, the Red Sox have not been good asset managers, but they do have the prospects to cover all that up. They might have their best pitching prospect in the last 20 years, one call away from the major leagues, and they are in desperate need of pitching help. That said, why it would be crazy for you to see him in the major leagues this year. That's coming up next on The Cam Show.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internix.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today. Elevate your experience with Grinco Science, the leaders in cutting-edge vaporizers. Whether you're at home or on the go, our sleek, powerful devices deliver smooth, consistent hits every time. Quality you can trust, innovation you can feel. Grinco Science. Take your vapor game to the next level. Visit us at GrincoScience.com. At Terrapin Ridge Farms, they believe in the joy of effortless entertaining. Inspired by CEO Mary O'Donnell's mom and her legendary holiday parties, they've crafted a line of gourmet foods that turn any meal into a celebration. From savory jams to mustards, aiolis, and more, their products are made with love, bringing unforgettable flavors to your table. Whether it's a casual get-together or a special occasion, they make it easy to impress. Terrapin Ridge Farms, where great food and great memories come together. Visit them at terrapinridge.com. Terrapin Ridge.
Do you ever have a story that you just can't get out of your head?
One that you play the details of over and over with your friends?
Well, you've come to the right place. I'm Claire.
And I'm Susan.
And this is Justice Pending,
a weekly true crime podcast where we discuss tantalizing crimes with more questions than answers.
Thanks for joining us.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Combine that with OrganicHemp.com's top quality CBD for ultimate balance. Start your healing journey today at GlobalHealing.com and OrganicHemp.com.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
It all began with a simple idea, cutting handles off old ski sticks to create better pull-up bars. This sparked the creation of the revolutionary Engels 90 handles. After testing over 70 prototypes with 300 athletes, our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Ready to bring your vision to life? At Small Rig, every idea, design, and product is inspired by you, the creator. With our industry-first under co-design mode and the Dream Rig free customization project, we unite with global creators to turn big dreams into reality. Whether it's a cage rig or mount, Small Rig's versatile gear is built to elevate your craft. Small Rig, where your creativity meets our innovation. Go to smallrig.com.
Unlock a world of convenience with Mullybox, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your taste. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com.
Back here on the Cam Show, Rogue Media Sports Network. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke behind the glass, keeping us on the air. We're live on YouTube as we are every weekday, noon Eastern time, and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. Check out the other videos on the channel, talking everything in the world of Boston sports. We have talked Bruins and why or why not to trade Fabian Lysell. So if you missed that, be sure to check it out on the YouTube channel. And now we shift to the Red Sox. Boy, these Red Sox, are they making it fun? Are they making it interesting, huh? Boy, I'm very excited to go to the game tonight and definitely not lose my mind at what is transpiring with this team and all the deficiencies they have that get highlighted just about every night at this point. God, I love that. Maybe the dead cat bounce after the trade deadline is over. Maybe. But we will have to shift our focus here in the next 2 weeks because they will expand the rosters, and the Red Sox do have some prospects, guys who could be called up and could actually make an impact on this team's playoff push. Man, the password, Christian Campbell, Nate Eaton, damn it. Nate Eaton, baby. Batting leadoff for your Boston Red Sox. Oh. The more the Red Sox lose, the more their playoff dreams are sitting here on the line. Do they need a lot of help on the pitching staff? Yes, they do. Did Craig Breslow want to do what was necessary at the trade deadline to improve their pitching staff to a postseason level? No, he didn't. But what if the answer wasn't a trade? What if the answer is sitting in AAA right now? This is Peyton Tole. He's the number one pitching prospect in the Red Sox system. He's the number two prospect in their system, full stop. He went from second-round pick to a AAA phenom, one call away from the majors in just 1 year. And that's starting to become a theme with this team. We've seen Red Sox prospects just flying through the system the last few seasons. Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer, Christian Campbell, Yostinson Garcia, now one step away from the majors. He's on a meteoric rise. But none of them have been pitchers. In fact, the Red Sox have really, really struggled to develop good major league starting pitching. Like, really struggled. It's been a long time. Brian Bayo right now looks like a real win. I'm loving the season from Brian Bayo. I've been a Brian Bayo believer. But before that, and the jury's still out, I would say. But before that, the last top-end starting pitcher this organization developed was John Lester. That was 20 years ago. In the meantime, we've gotten a steady dose of Clay Buchholz, DeVern Hansack, Connor Seabald, Henry Owens, Tanner Houck, 2 bouts with Justin Masterson. It's been embarrassing. The Red Sox have needed to go out and buy their pitching, in the case of someone like David Price, or trade their best prospects for pitching. Every time the Red Sox have terrific prospects, they end up being sent out for pitching, or their names are Roman Anthony or Xander Bogaerts. Hanley Ramirez and Anibal Sanchez, your 2 top prospects for Josh Beckett. Casey Fossum, your best pitching prospect for Curt Schilling. Yohan Moncada, the number 1 prospect in all of baseball, and your top pitching prospect, Michael Kopech, for Chris Sale. Now, those deals have worked out. They've all led to World Series titles. So I'm not complaining about that. What I'm saying is the Red Sox are all about their flexibility, and yet they can't develop this position. And it puts them at a disposition every time they're competitive. because it takes a couple years, because they need to work the right deal to actually get a pitcher in here. They did the same thing this last offseason with Garrett Crochet, your top catching prospect, and Braden Montgomery, who was rising up the ranks for Garrett Crochet. And then you need to extend him. That's all times where you are using your own capital because you can't really develop at this position. Meanwhile, you don't have to look that far back to see a dynasty like the San Francisco Giants, 3 World Series in 6 years, and it comes off the back of homegrown talent. And yeah, almost entirely off their homegrown pitching staff. Madison Bumgarner, Tim Lincecum, Matt Cain, even depth pieces like Jonathan Sanchez. They're all developed. You look at the Astros, position players and pitchers, same thing, man. The Astros are just as bullish as the Red Sox are, maybe even more so in free agency. And yet they've been the franchise in the American League the last decade because of the guys they developed. Altuve, Bregman, Correa, Springer, Tucker, Alvarez, Keuchel, Valdez, Garcia for a short time. But like everything was developed. And you had Garrett Cole there for a bit. He didn't win a World Series with the Astros. Verlander was the only pitcher you went out and got that led to a World Series title. Everything else was in-house. The Red Sox might finally be starting to catch up on that. Now, if Peyton Tolle reaches the potential he's carving out for himself, he will be the biggest win on the mound for this farm system in 2 decades. That's without a doubt, because his potential is even higher than what we saw for Brian Bayo. And if those 2 guys are the top 2 guys, or let's be honest, number 2 and 3 behind Garrett Crochet for the next 5 or 6 years, then that in and of itself is a big win for the Red Sox farm system. That would be huge. But here's the problem. Not for the long term, but here's the problem for those thinking he could be able to come up in the next couple of weeks and impact the postseason roster this year, because the Red Sox have a huge need both in the bullpen and in their starting rotation. So Peyton Tolle should fit right in there. Here's the problem for this year. He's only made 2 starts in Worcester. 2 starts in AAA, 10 innings. 10 innings, giving up 10 hits, 5 runs, 4.50 ERA, 8 strikeouts. Hadn't gotten shelled by any means, but it hasn't exactly blown anyone away, has he? Not yet. The thing about Tolle that makes him so fascinating and exciting is also the same thing that gives me real pause in regards to him being on the roster in a couple of weeks. He started this year in Greenville. He started this year in high A ball. In the first 4 months of the season, he had already played in 3 different levels of the minor leagues. The man still needed Google Maps just to get to the field in Portland by the time he's called up to Worcester. He couldn't even give you recommendations for restaurants in Portland. It was like that. Now, pitchers are a little bit different from hitters in this respect. But jumping from high A ball to the major leagues, a major league pennant race in a 5-month span is unfathomable. It's borderline asinine. Now, across 3 leagues this year, his numbers are awesome and everything, right? Got an ERA right around 3, 13 strikeouts per 9, almost 6-1 in his strikeout to walk ratio. But wouldn't this be too much? Like, we've seen this before. Clay Buchholz came up in 2007 and threw a literal no-hitter in major leagues in his second start. And even he couldn't crack the playoff roster. And there's a lot of similarities there to Tolle, by the way. He was also your number 1 pitching prospect. He lit up Double-A. I remember Buchholz led the Double-A in strikeouts. Was called up to Pawtucket in July. Pretty much the same time as Tolle was. And he couldn't crack that playoff roster. It was a really good Red Sox team that didn't need a ton of help pitching-wise. But again, the point stands. He came up, proved he could pitch in the major leagues. He threw a no-hitter. And they were still like, well, that's not enough yet. Tolle has a really bright future, man. He's hitting almost 99 on his fastball. Good pitch mixing, like is clearly blowing away the minor leagues right now. And if he does get called up in 2 weeks, I'm here for it. I would like that kind of ambition. But I think expecting this kid to come up and be, even a number 4 starter for you is just a lot to put on him right now. That kind of pressure that would be put on him is the kind of pressure they worried about for Roman Anthony. And they waited about as long as they could to call up Roman Anthony. Peyton Tolle is very exciting. And again, if you can get him and Bayo as 2 and 3 starters, as both guys you develop, the Red Sox are in as good a pitching position as they have been in a long time, man. Like, I'm talking legitimately like 40 years in terms of homegrown pitchers. Like, you got to go back to having, a rotation with Roger Clemens and Bruce Hurst and Oil Can Boyd to feel that good about homegrown talent at the starting pitcher position. Throw in Cal Schiraldi in there too. 40 years ago. All the great Red Sox pitchers you've had since then, except for John Lester, who was, again, always surrounded by guys who were not developed in the Red Sox system, were guys that they traded for and signed. Mostly traded for. Pedro, trade. Schilling, trade. Beckett, trade. Sale, trade. Price, free agency. Crochet, trade. Evaldi, trade. They're all guys you traded for. You can't develop them. Peyton Tolle, though, boy, could he be the next one. Boy, could he be the one that changes our mind about how the Red Sox are developing talent. I just don't think it's going to be this year. But then again, the Red Sox really desperately need it. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Is this worth the Red Sox calling up their number 1 pitching prospect in the middle of a pennant race because they're that desperate and he's that good? Let me know in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're coming at you every weekday live at high noon Eastern time and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. Trying to give you a Boston sports alternative that's not on your radio dial because we know how that's going. So get involved, like and subscribe, leave your comments under there. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air 5 days a week. And without burying the obvious, I still do like Peyton Tolle. I'm not just saying I don't want him up on this team this year because he's a TCU Horned Frog and I'm a Baylor Bear. That doesn't factor into it, although I wish he went somewhere else for college. I'm okay with that. I just think this is a huge jump. That's 4 leagues, 4 different professional leagues in the span of 6 months. That's too much. But let me know what you guys think. I do want to know. Because coming up next, I am going to get you guys involved here because I really want the comments in the next segment where we're going to talk about which Boston sports team is closest to winning a championship. Get in that comment section and we'll talk about it next on The Cam Show.
Shades is your trusted partner in stage lighting, offering a wide range of high-quality, innovative products since 2015. With designs that cater to all needs, fast delivery, and affordable prices, we provide exceptional customer service to ensure your satisfaction. With warehouses across the globe and sales in over 100 countries, Sheds is quickly becoming one of the most recognized names in the stage lighting industry. Visit shehds.com today to discover top-tier stage lighting solutions and become part of our global network.
Introducing Muck-Off's classic pink bike cleaner, powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. Developed by our mad developer Alex and tested by riders, our products are made by riders for riders. Discover more at us.muc-off.com, where we break the mold to bring you the best in bike care.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels, our rebounders improve accuracy, control, and technique in both sports. Built with premium materials for durability and ease of use, they're ideal for training anywhere, anytime. Whether you're perfecting your soccer game or sharpening your lacrosse skills, Open Goal USA has you covered. Visit OpenGoalUSA.com and elevate your training today.
Chapellex is a full category shapewear brand dedicated to providing women with exceptional comfort and support. We offer thoughtfully designed solutions that blend style with functionality, empowering women to feel confident and at ease every day. Chapellex is redefining what it means to have a perfect body. Our mission celebrates body positivity, embracing every shape and size, because true beauty lies in authenticity. Visit shapellx.com today and join a movement towards self-love, acceptance, and confidence.
Indulge in Blum's luxurious Lotus flower rolls. The green Lotus roll bursts with a caramel apple flavor, while the blue Lotus roll offers a smooth berry cream sensation. With our Crush for Flavor technology, enjoy an instant burst of natural, intense flavor anytime you desire. Elevate your experience with the finest creations nature has to offer. Explore the full collection at blumleaf.com. That's BLUUMLEAF.com. Blumleaf. Golf Partner, the world's largest golf store network, offers more purchasing opportunities than anywhere else. With a dominant market share and a wider selection of quality secondhand golf clubs than our competitors, we make it easy for you to enjoy the game with affordable, top-quality equipment. Join us at golfpartnerusa.com and discover why we're the trusted choice for golf lovers worldwide. That's GOLFPARTNERUSA.com. Golf Partner. At Terrapin Ridge Farms, they believe in the joy of effortless entertaining. Inspired by CEO Mary O'Donnell's mom and her legendary holiday parties, they've crafted a line of gourmet foods that turn any meal into a celebration. From savory jams to mustards, aiolis, and more, their products are made with love, bringing unforgettable flavors to your table. Whether it's a casual get-together or a special occasion, they make it easy to impress. Terrapin Ridge Farms, where great food and great memories come together. Visit them at terrapinridge.com. Terrapin Ridge.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
Back here in the studio, putting a pretty bow on it on the Cam Show. We've talked Bruins, we've talked Red Sox. Now let's get a little open-ended, shall we? Let's do one of those classic summer talking points, because we're not at football yet. We're pretty close, and then everything opens up from there. Then before you know it, you've got hockey back, you've got basketball back, and we're just talking. We're just talking straight ball all day. But right now, we're still in some summer topics, and one that I think changes for me by the week, so we could see this again in the near future on the Cam Show, is this. What Boston sports team is going to be the next one to win a championship? It's a fascinating question, and it wasn't for a long time. For most of my childhood, the answer was the same. The Patriots are going to win it this year. Right? That was always it. And then you had another two teams probably at any given time that had a chance to win their own championship. Right now, you could call it dark days. I call it days where I can have more of a debate about this topic. Okay? Which Boston team is the next one to do it? Now, the conventional answer is pretty easy, right? The Celtics. The Celtics are going to be the next team to win the championship in Boston. They just won it last year in 2024. Now, that team is going to look a lot different now, but you still got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and Derek White and Joe Mazzulla and Brad Stevens, the best GM in the sport. They're probably going to stink this year just because they don't have Tatum. But does that mean that their championship window is completely shut? I don't think it is. You got two all-NBA players. That's the starting point for any great NBA team. And it's no different with this Celtics team. So yeah, this year's going to be lean. It's going to be difficult. They'll probably be a playoff team in the East, but probably a play-in team with Jaylen Brown leading the way. But that's got to be the answer, right? It's going to be the Celtics. Not so fast, my friend. That's why we're doing this. I'm here to say I think the team in Boston that could be next to win a championship is actually the Red Sox. I know there were some people who were even thinking Patriots. Neither of those three teams are actually really close to a title, but it's up for debate, right? The Patriots have a franchise quarterback. They've got a good left tackle, it looks like. Back-to-back top 5 picks. They've got an all-pro corner. They've got a legit coach in the room. They're starting to develop an offense. But I really think the Red Sox are the closest here. I think even after all the struggles and kind of the ups and downs of this year, I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to be a postseason team. And it could be like in 2021 where you said, man, that team didn't win it, but they were closer than we thought. They were a piece or two away from really being there. And in 2021, it fell out afterwards. You didn't re-sign Schwarber, right? Verdugo did not end up being the player you thought he was going to be, and you really didn't have much in the way of a prospect pipeline at that point. That team was more like 2013 in the way they were built than it was, 2016 when there was a ton of hype for the future. This team right now does remind me of the 2016 and 2017 teams in a lot of ways. Some ways of how the manager's managing things, some way about the young prospects that they have. I think we're going to find that the Red Sox are really not that far away from being one of, if not the best team in baseball. And they've got their future right there. Roman Anthony, Cedar Rafaela, Brian Bayo. Yeah, Christian Campbell. I'm going to include him in there. If you re-sign Bregman, that's a big part of it. Garrett Crochet is a big part of it. Trevor Story is a big part of the next few seasons. Wilyer Abreu is probably part of it, or whomever you trade Wilyer Abreu for will be a big part of it. And you've got a prospect pipeline here. It's not just those guys that are in the majors right now. We haven't even talked about Marcelo Meyer because he's out for the year. Christian Campbell is a major league player and will be for you next year. Peyton Tole, you finally have a great pitching prospect. Now you've got potentially 2 homegrown starting pitchers. Yostinson Garcia, the password, just absolutely tearing the cover off the ball in the minor leagues. He's going to be in the majors at some point next year. So while the Celtics absolutely have the talent to win a title in the next 3 seasons, let's say, because they have those 2 core guys, I am a believer in like season to season momentum. And they're going to be coming off a bad year in 2 years. Like this next year is going to stink. Then the next year they'll have Tatum coming off an injury and they'll be coming off a year where they stink. Luka Garza, they're not going to be any good. The Red Sox next year are going to be coming off a postseason year potentially. They're going to be coming off the season where they had the rookie of the year. And maybe even a Cy Young winner. I mean, Crochet is going to be pretty close to that. I don't think he'll get it, but he'll be pretty close to that. And guys who put up some extremely good stretches and finally some capital to go out there and get a big fish to add to a lineup with Alex Bregman and Roman Anthony and Trevor Story. Like there is all kinds of flexibility with this team, which I hate using in substitution of I hate using flexibility and efficiency in substitution for going for it like the Red Sox are doing. But I do like flexibility and efficiency when it comes to how you look at the next 2 or 3 seasons for the Red Sox. I think if they handle this offseason the way they should, which is a big ask with Craig Breslow, right? But if they handle this and they go out and they get a big name like a Joe Ryan or a big name starting pitcher like a Garrett Crochet in the offseason and can slot him into your rotation and you fix 1 or 2 of the bullpen pieces and you have a first baseman that's not Tristan Casas in all likelihood, then this team can compete for the World Series next year. They can be the best team in the American League East next year. In fact, with this, what they have right now, if you extend Bregman and you bring in a Joe Ryan type of pitcher, just those 2 moves alone right there, then you're better than the Yankees. which you arguably are right now. We find out this weekend. Toronto's having a really good year. I thought they were going to fluke it out by now, and the Red Sox, the Yankees would really push them, and they haven't. They haven't as we get into the latter days of August here. But I don't think this Toronto thing is like, hey, this is a team that's at the top of the division every year. I think they're a good team that's catching lightning in a bottle right now. The Red Sox, though, with those moves, they can be the team to be reckoned with in the American League East for years to come. So while the Celtics are a conventional answer, and the Patriots have a shot in the next 3 or 4 years with the kind of pieces that they have, they're still a long way. The Red Sox have the pieces, and they're not as far away as I think the rest of the league thinks they are. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Which Boston team is closest to winning a championship? Let me know in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. About 90% of you watching aren't actually subscribed to the channel. So go ahead and do that. It's completely free, and it gives you a great alternative to the crap you're hearing on Boston Sports Talk Radio every day. Every weekday live at high noon Eastern time, and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air. Thank you guys for making it a part of your day. We will see you on the next edition of a little ditty of a show that we like to call The Cam Show.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internex. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internex.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. We understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit TwoSains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.